YouTube, what's happening? I'm Marvin. I don't have a channel or anything. If it gets enough viewers off of this video, I'll make a channel. Uh, anyway, guys, the reason for this video is I work on a bunch of stuff. I got a project truck out there that is almost done, not quite done, but it's getting there. It's a 94 F-150 with a 460 in it. How many OBS F-150s have you seen with a 460? Not many, right? I like having something different. So I got this boat here. It's a Dynatrac. So I'm gonna lay the phone down right here for a second so I can talk to you guys. I couldn't find, there we go. I couldn't find any good videos on how to remove a cap off of a boat. I know it looks smoky in here. I know this is crazy. It snowed like 7 inches today. So I got my wood heater going. I got a propane heater over there. So I'm trying to keep it warm in here so I can do a little something. It's already dark outside, so I can't really do anything besides go in the house. And a lot of you people are wondering, well, why are you out there when it's like 28 degrees outside? Well, it don't matter how hot, don't matter how cold. I'm out here. So, anyway, I'm out here every day. Every day. Work 10 hours, come out here. Weekends, out here. Holidays, out here. Don't matter, I'm out here. So, removing the cap off of the boat and fixing the transom problem. My transom is completely gone. Like, the wood is actually still wet in here, and it hasn't seen the lake in 2 years. So, this boat didn't have a cover on it for I don't know how long. I bought this boat from my boss, and it was sitting in his backyard just begging for either somebody to either do something with it or let it die. So, I got it. Couldn't find any good videos on here, on Facebook, on anywhere that had a good video of taking a cap off. So I've never removed a cap from a boat. So yes, I've never done it before, but I've done a lot of research. I watched videos what I did find. So I know kind of the basics, but I'm not going to show you me working on it, but I'm going to give you a step-by-step of what to do. So, the thing about taking this cap off is it's a fiberglass boat. And the reason I have to take the cap off is because the floor is gone. And I want to fix it the right way, and for me to fix it the right way, the cap has to come off. Now, I recently found out that boats, fiberglass boats, are built in 2 pieces. I thought it was 1 piece, and they just cut holes in the ship. I don't know. So, anyway, so what you want to do before you take the cap off is you want to come back here and make sure your transom is good or bad. If it's bad, then you're better off cutting this cap out. You don't have to, let me rephrase that, you don't have to cut. There's certain things you have to cut, but it's not that big of a deal, I promise you. I'm worried to death about doing this, because I'm worried that I'll screw something up. So I'm doing this for people that's like, I don't think I can really do that. I don't think I can really get into that because I'll mess something up and then I lost the whole boat. That's why I'm doing this video, because I worry about the exact same thing. So, but it's somebody that works on stuff every day. I'm a mechanical and electrical technician at my job, so I work on something every day. So this is a little bit different. This isn't steel that I'm messing with. This isn't electrical stuff I'm messing with. This is fiberglass. This is something a little different. So one of the first things you have to do, you can take this cap off and leave the motor on it. I'm going to take the motor off first. So motors are different, but they don't have the basic. There's a lot of good videos on how to remove a motor from a boat. There are a lot of good videos on there of that. So you can look up how to remove a motor from a bass boat. There are good videos out there. So here we go. So one thing you want to do is the transom here is bad. All this is in here is bad. So this motor here has got to come off. Basically, you just disconnect everything. You come around over here. Disconnect all the wires. Where are we at? There we go. Disconnect all the wires that are down here. Everything's disconnected except the steering. The steering is being an issue. It's not won't come out at all. So when I pick the motor up with my engine lift over there, pick the motor up, now I can pull the rest of that steering out. I think the cables are just so damn stiff that they're not wanting to come out properly. So I'm going to take the motor off before I remove the cap, but this is what you want to do. Most bass boats have this rope that's in here, okay? You want to take that rope out. You're probably going to have some kind of thing in here, like a piece of angle and some caps on it. You want to remove most of this stuff is just removing screws, okay? And then you have a rub rail that goes around the boat. The rubber rub rail that goes around the boat. When you pull the rope out, you're going to see screws or rivets. You could have rivets there. That is another issue. You have to drill all them out. Luckily, I have screws. So I got to take all the screws out all the way around. This rub rail is about $400, $500 on Amazon. The rub rail, if you don't want to spend the money for another rub rail, you really need to try to take care of this. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to save this. It can be replaced, but this is more of like a budget boat type thing. This boat will never, ever look brand new. It will never look, man, that's a nice boat. It'll never look like that. That's not what my goal is. My goal is, all I need the boat to do is float. I'll do everything else. It's part of the reason why I'm doing this video. So, it needs a new floor put in it, but it's going to be easier for me to remove the cap. That's the right way to fix this boat. So, with that said, this video will help you have the confidence enough to take this off. So, you take the rub rail off. Then you're going to have screws in the cap. Now, the cap, you take all the screws out of it, and then you're going to have to cut some sealant out of the back of the boat and up about 2 feet. At the front, this blows my mind. At the front of the boat, there's no sealant. Now, I ain't the brightest person in the world. But why not put sealant around the whole boat? You put it on the back. Okay, so if the front starts nosediving and there's water coming in the boat at the front, turn on bilge pumps. That makes no sense to me, but makes less work for me, so I can work with that. So, with that said, cigarette went out. Hang on. So, with that said, this video is probably not going to show me removing the cap because I'm not ready for that. My rub rail is still on it, so I'm going to have to go around, take all these screws out, go back around, take all the screws out of the cap. Now the cap, the way this boat is made, the Dynatrac, the way this boat is made is the cap and the hole, this is the hole, this is the cap. It kind of goes over it, okay? It's kind of like that. It kind of goes over top of the hole all the way around. so it's gonna lift off. But one of the main things you want to do as far as this cap goes, you're going to want to take all the weight off of it you can. Okay. So, I thought maybe you could hear me better if I did that, but probably hear me just fine. Maybe. We'll see. So, you want to take all the weight off. So, I have a center console. Okay. See, this is a center console boat. Okay. So, the center console is going to stay with the cap, which makes it heavier. The compartment doors, I have 3 compartment lids to take off. I call them doors, but they're lids. I got 3 compartment lids to take off. I took the ones off the front. I took the panel off the front. Trolling motors off the front. I got just these 2, and then the one for the fuel tank. Now, also, the fuel tank on this will have to come out. Take everything out of this boat you can possibly take off, because this cap's going to be heavy enough. Now, if you're anything like me and you have to do this by yourself and you don't have 5, 6, 7, 8 people to help you take a cap off a boat, you have to do it by yourself. You're going to have to come up with different ways to do that. The best way for me to do that is take all the weight off of it. Then I'm going to build a kind of like an overhead crane, if you will. I'm probably just going to take two 6x6 posts and then put a 6x6 this way, and then run a chainsaw around it and just pick it up. Brace this up the best I can and just pick this whole thing up. That's the only thing I can think of to do. So it's probably what's going to happen. So this being the first video that I ever do, I'm not going to really video me taking screws out, cutting the sealant out of it. I'm not going to really do that. So I got a lot of parts over here. You want to take the seats out. You want to take the motor cover off. The motor doesn't have to come off because it's not part of the cap. So that's part of the hull. That's what it mounts to. So that's no big deal. You can leave the motor on if there's nothing wrong with your transom, but you got to redo the floor. That's fine. But you take this cap off, the boat is gonna, on the trailer, it's gonna. So I'm taking the motor off because I have to anyway. So I'm taking the motor off first. But here's the thing. Step 1, take the rope out of the rub rail. Step pre-1, take the angle piece away from your transom. Whatever trim you got over the transom part, take all that off. Take the rope out of the rub rail. Take the rub rail off. You want to take all the weight out of it. I'm going to unwire all my gauges, everything, because I'm putting all new gauges in it. I'm putting a new throttle control in it. The hot foot, it come out. I don't know if that's going to get put back in or not. It depends on if I have to have it to run. I don't think I will. We'll see about that. Hot foot will probably come back in later. I'm just trying to get it to where it's water worthy is what I'm trying to do. Everything will come off of this boat. That has to come off. Anything that's, that can stay. I'm trying to put all the hoses, wires, cables, everything, drop them in the hole, and I'll work around them. I don't want it to come with a cap because I don't want stuff coming out with the cap. I don't want that. I don't want to have to be trying to take this thing off by myself and have to stop and try to hold one end up while I'm trying to get cables and hoses and crap out of the way. I don't really want to do that. I want to leave everything in the hole. I can move it to one side, work, move it to the other side, work, do whatever. I'll work around them, and then I'll put the cap back on. I'll feed them through. No big deal. Typically. Hopefully. We'll see. Another problem with this boat is it has hydraulic steering. Steering wheel won't move. I don't know why. I unhooked the steering bracket from the steering component for the steering wheel. The steering wheel still won't move. I don't know why. That's a problem. Might have to look into that a little more. Probably won't video that. There's some good videos on steering for boats. It's just a cap thing. Not very many people has done it. Not very many people want to do it. Not very many people enjoy doing it. Not very many people can give you advice on doing it. It's one of those things you have to get in there and kind of just do it. So I'm gonna turn this propane heater off. Bear with me. All right, not as loud in here. That's better. It's kind of loud in here. You have to be mindful of what you're doing, because this being fiberglass, you have to be careful about removing the cap, because this being fiberglass, it can crack. Stress cracks is a big thing you need to watch out for. Typically, a lot of what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to watch out for picking this thing up with a crane, like how I'm going to do it with a chain fall. That chain fall right, where's it at? A chain fall right there, hanging up. It's got the chain coming off of it. That's what I'm going to pick it up with. Could use an electric hoist, but you can't feel anything in an electric hoist. That's like you don't use a winch to winch somebody off of a cliff when you're doing search and rescue. You don't use a winch on the front of a truck because you can't feel it. You hand pull. You know, if you got pulleys or whatever, pulley system, that's what you use. Snatch blocks, that's what you use. You never use the front of a truck with a winch on it. You don't do that. Electric winch, you can't feel. With that thing, you can kind of feel tension in it. You can hear the motor straining, but on an electric winch, on an electric, whatever you want to call it, electric hoist, you can hear the motor winding down when it's under load or when it's under stress, but you can't really feel it. You know what I'm saying? With the chain fall, you can feel it. So I want to feel any stress that's going on here. If it feels like it's trying to pick the whole boat up, then I know I got something left to cut. So, with that being said, you just want to be mindful of protecting the cap. Now, you were probably wondering, well, when you pick the cap up, then what? Well, I plan on pulling the whole boat out from under it, and then putting it on the ground, and then I'll try to maneuver it, or I'll put the whole cap on. My boss has the guy who I bought this boat from, he's got an 18-foot trailer, or 16-foot trailer, 16-foot utility trailer. I can put this cap on, and I can move it, and me and him could take it off. We can pick it up. If not, it'd sit on the trailer until I get the floor done, do all the work in the floor, and then put it back down. No big deal. Problem solved, right? So, kind of want to look into stuff like that. So, it is cold out here. I picked one hell of a hobby, huh? This boat has trim controls on the steering wheel and in the floor. Steering wheel is going. The foot, if it still works, I'll work. But I got a switch on the motor where I can lower and raise it. Not that big of a deal. You climb in the back of the boat, reach over, up and down. No big deal. Right. So even if neither one of those work, I can still put it in the water and still run it. The motor doesn't really need a whole lot of work. It just needs to be kind of just tuned up, freshened up, carburetor's rebuilt. I've already changed the plugs in it. One of them had a thread insert that was stripped. That's a whole nother headache. So the first fire up, we'll know if it holds. If it doesn't, then we'll know. I got to get a lot of new hoses. A lot of them's dry rotted. They're no good. So a lot of them hoses have got to be, worked on, fixed, what have you. So, all right, well, looks like we're at almost 21 minutes here. So, even though I didn't really show you a whole lot, if this video gets enough views, not even the whole thing, you ain't even got to sit through the whole 20 minutes of it. 21 minutes now. This will be about 23 minutes, but you don't even have to sit through the whole thing. If you got this far, I appreciate it. Appreciate you watching. But if you want to see how I'm going to do this, and you want to see how it's done, and I can show you what to do, I can show you everything to take off, I can show you everything that you got to do, we can do that. I'm actually going to start a new video in just a minute, and I'm going to show you the boat. So, I'm going to show you the boat, and show you what all you got to do, show you what my plan is. You might get ideas from me, you can comment, you might give me ideas. I got to get new lights in here. You see that? LED lights. I got one over there. It's going out too. See that LED light? How they're already burnt out? I think the cold weather gets them out here. Or I get some bad ones or something. Something happens. So, I'm going to start a new video now. We're at 22 minutes and about 18 seconds. So, I'm going to end this video and then start a new one. So, right here in a second, look at video part 2. And I'll show you everything we're going to do. And then we'll go from there. So, anybody that views this video, I appreciate it. If I get enough views on it, I have an idea of how many views I want to make a channel. And I'll start doing boats, lawnmowers, cars, anything that I feel like I need to make a video on. I'm not doing videos on oil changes, changing tires. I'm not doing any of that. Somebody requests that. I mean, if you request a video, I'll make one. Simple as that. So, all right, guys. See you in a second.